All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are so fortunate because we have the good talent of a teacher from Blackhawk, your lovely wife, Naomi. She's a good teacher.
Yes, she is.
She's taught you well, hasn't she? Does she do this, talk to the hand?
All the time.
That's what I figured. Okay, that's a good thing, though. Hey, we love Blackhawk. We love high school sports. We're going to get to some big news in just a moment, but I want to talk Pitt football. You know, Dr. Mistovich was here just a little while ago at Pitt Dental School, and just about anybody that graduated from Pitt Dental School, even Mike Ditka tried his luck there for a while. They love Pitt. My good friend Dr. Zamorella, Dr. Bhds down there as well, Dr. Matrone, a lot of Pitt graduates. This football team, it's been rough for them. But they're the only second team, I think, other than Fresno State in the country that has taken on this year back-to-back top 10 teams. So the schedule's been pretty tough.
Yeah, I think the jury is still out. Everybody's kind of down on Pitt right now, but I still think the jury's still out. You look at, Penn State is a great team. Oklahoma State, I think they're going to, the team we saw last week keep showing up every week. They're going to end up being, I think, better than Penn State. I think they're going to move up in the rankings. So Pitt is playing two very good teams. So I think maybe the jury is still out. Once ACC play starts, we're going to get a better idea of what they have.
Tomorrow night, a graduate of the Pitt Law School happens to be a part of the Black and Gold Sunday show sponsored by Coons Market. Greg Dolos and I were talking about Mason Rudolph. He saw him. He said this guy would look good in the Steelers uniform. He said he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. They're prolific as far as throwing the football. But Georgia Tech, like them, but rushing the football, they're just as prolific. So Pitt's going to have their hands full trying to stop the run.
They are. Georgia Tech, they brought that. They kind of have that modified triple option type of attack. Hopefully Jordan Whitehead, he returns this week. Let's see how he does. Makes the defense a little better. I don't know if he would have helped them last week. He might have kept a touchdown or two off the board, but I think against Georgia Tech, he's going to pay huge dividends.
Here's the big story with Pitt right now. You bring in a guy from USC, you pretty much say, okay, here's the job. It's early, but he's struggling. So you got to believe Coach Narducci is going to wait a while. But you've got Ben DiNucci on the bench who gets a little bit more mobile. And it seemed, though, when he got into the second quarter, he moved them a little bit easier and quicker in a positive way than Brown. So what happens to Brown, especially when you got guys like we out there who are waiting to get their hands on the football, and he's a prototype quarterback that can drop back in the pocket and throw it. So you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. What do they do with this guy?
I think this week's going to be telling. I don't know that he I know his depth chart. He has either or, he has or between them, so he hasn't really named a starter yet. He may give Brown one more week now they're beginning ACC play. Again, you got to take into consideration who they played these last 2 weeks. But DiNucci is, he's come on against Penn State and against Oklahoma State. He's moved that offense. And it's interesting. You look at a kid like Max Brown. 4 years ago, he was the #1 high school quarterback in the nation. And here, he struggled at USC, he's struggling at Pitt. And you got, a kid like DiNucci who's coming in and so far playing a little better. So it really shows that, a lot of times those high school rankings aren't gospel. I'm not really going to say what you're going to do, your future success.
By the way, 12th meeting between Pitt and Georgia Tech. Series led by Pitt 7-4. Georgia Tech defeated Pitt 1956 Sugar Bowl January 2nd. And that same year, they beat him in the Gator Bowl December 29th. In 1976, Tony Dorsett scored 3 times in a 42-14 Panthers win. You may remember 2016, Chris Blue, a 31-yarder. As time expired, gave Pitt a 37-34 win. 93-7 the fans Saturday at noon. Bill Hillgrove, Billy Osborne, and Larry Richard. Now, speaking of prolific quarterbacks, Jerkovich, the young man from Pine Richland, going to Notre Dame. You see, we have to make it so these kids stay home and go to Pitt. How good is this kid?
He is. He's the real deal.
People said, the second coming of Danny Marino. Could he be that good?
He seems, he really does seem like when you watch his games, he is kind of a man among boys right now. He's head and shoulders above every other player on the field. Again, like we were talking about with Max Brown, you really don't know how that's going to translate to the next level, but this kid really seems like he's got all the tools and seems like he's grounded. He comes from a really good family, so I'm anxious to see. I would love to see him in a Pitt uniform, but it doesn't, obviously he's committed to Notre Dame. He seems pretty firm in that commitment. With Pitt, they need as much as they would love to have a Djokovic, I don't know if they need a Djokovic or Marino. They need they need a Tyler Palko. A kid who's going to come in there and be a gritty quarterback for 4 years and do something for them. But I guess that remains to be seen how it's going to play out over the next few years.
Okay, the real reason I wanted you to hear it because this story just leaped out at me at timesonline.com. Great way to find out what's happening in this valley every day for news and sports. They have it all, Beaver County Times. School Board of Lincoln Park, Western Beaver have reached an agreement for cooperative in football, baseball, and girls softball. That's huge.
It is.
It's not a done deal yet as far as we know, right?
As far as I know, I think they still have to vote on it, but I'm sure that's just a formality, yeah. And it's going to be interesting as far as football is concerned. Western Beaver is now going to probably realignment comes out in April or May of next year, and they're probably going to move up to Double A. So that's going to be an interesting. I think it'll be good with them as far as the teams they'll play. They'll get to play New Brighton and Freedom and some of the other schools. So it's not like they're going to get kicked out of playing local rivalries that they had. They're going to get away from Rochester and Southside and some of those schools, but they're still going to have local rivalries. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and how that plays out with them moving up.
All right, before we talk about the big game, you, of course, that's your signature game. You told me the Post-Gazette, too, as well. Central Valley, Quaker Valley. I want to talk about a game that you covered, Elwood City. And for those of us who love Elwood City, and I've always had a special place in my heart, they have a Brighton hot dog shop there. They got their first win since October 23rd, 2015, and they did it against Beaver Falls, 28-0. Nick Hand is their head coach, and Luke Bhds, this guy, a couple of interceptions, one for a 40-yard score, the other he set up an Andrew O'Brien 17-yard run. Congratulations to the Wolverines. That's big.
It is. And, I saw them last week, and it was impressive. This wasn't a fluke that they won. I mean, they. This Bhds kid is just very good. I saw him earlier this year, and he's a dominant player for Elwood City, and he showed it on Friday night against Beaver Falls. I don't know if he's a D1 talent, but I think he's a Slippery Rock, Clarion, that level of kid. He's a big kid. He's got speed, and he's just always around the ball. But it is a nice story about Elwood City and what they've done. Coming back, they followed on some tough times over the last couple seasons, but they were excited, and then you knock off the defending state champs. I mean, granted, it's not the same team that Beaver Falls had last year, but still, that's a pretty big feather in your cap to beat a Beaver Falls team.
All right, now Chris Bradford on the Riverside game against Mohawk. Finally, Riverside gets it going this year. Congratulations to them, 39-0 win.
Yeah, they've been with Coach Shiro coming in. Last year, this year, it's amazing the difference that a coach can make, and in a program, especially a legendary coach like Coach Shiro. You wonder, when school boards are bringing in some of these, I don't want to say retreads, but and sometimes you wonder, what are they doing? But you get a guy like Coach Shiro who a lot of these kids may not even know who he was, but he's come in there and he's really righted the ship at Riverside.
And by the way, Woodrow Hughes' statement on the game said, told the Times that it is a statement game in Class 2A, no doubt. Joe Sager, Laurel over Southside, 35-7. Laurel scored 29 unanswered points. What's going on with Southside? I've always loved Southside, and they just seem like they've been kind of in neutral of late. Where are they right now?
I saw them the opening week against Osh, and they were impressive. They had they really put out a big win. They scored in the last 30 seconds to win the game. They held off a Hail Mary at the end. They just over the last few seasons they're competitive, but they just aren't the Southside of old. It used to be, right? You remember the old conference with Southside, Western, and Rochester and Farrell, and those were some great years. Southside they're competitive, but I don't know what's going on with them, since that first game.
All right. Speaking of them, they're back to 2-2 following a win over Western Beaver, 41-6. This Ricky Goss, or Goss, how do you pronounce it?
Ricky Goss from
Quaker Valley.
Quaker Valley, yep.
200 yards from scrimmages, Quaker Valley defeated Beaver 45-21. He's got 20 touchdowns through the first 4 games. Oh my, Quaker Valley back in a big way.
Yeah, and who'd have thought? I mean, they were always, that was another team that was always competitive, but then they always had to play the Beavers, the Beaver Falls, the Aliquippas. But this really seems like this may be the year. And this Ricky Goss, he's the real deal. It was a nice story in Sunday's paper about his mom had just found out that she was cured of cancer, and then they went out and knocked off Beaver for the first time in about 10 years. So it's a nice story. What he's doing is just tremendous.
All right, speaking of tremendous, there's nothing like Saturday night at Reeves Stadium, especially under the lights. Geneva loses, however, to St. Vincent in their first President Athletic Conference opener. They're now 1-2 overall and 0-1 in the pack. St. Vincent, 362 passing yards. Geneva, 362 rushing yards. This Marshall kid, is incredible. This young man that they have from Quaker Valley at Geneva. And even though I know Gino DeMarco is not happy about this record, and we're going to be talking to him Thursday night, he's also going to be previewing the Steelers-Chicago Bear game, I still think it just feels as though they're kind of getting it going in the right direction again.
Yeah, I think so. It's taken a few years to really, I think they moved into Division III now. They really had to, they had to play some seasons. They weren't eligible for the playoffs. They had to get used to the new conference that they're playing in. I think it's a slow process, but I really think they're going to come around. Obviously, you look at what Coach DeMarco has done there, and I love the offense. I love that running attack that they have. I mean, you see what they did even in a loss. That's just incredible. So, yeah, I think you give it the remainder of this year, a couple more years, recruiting more of the kids that can play in that type of offense, and obviously Gino's got a prime recruiting around here in Beaver County. So yeah, I think they're going to right the ship there and turn things around.
Yeah, Eastern Ohio too. And listen, if you're a student athlete, you're a senior, you want to play football, beautiful facility, and get a great faith-based education. I mean, Geneva, in my opinion, there's not a better place to be than up on the hill. That's College Hill in Beaver Falls. By the way, Teal on the road this Saturday. Homecoming at Reeve Stadium is going to be October the 7th. Anything else on your mind before we say goodnight? What else? What else is happening in local high school sports?
No, there's not a whole lot. I think the MAC tennis is going on right now. Cross country's in full swing, but yeah, we're going to be getting the playoff season for the non-football sports are going to be coming up soon. But no, we're kind of right in the middle of the seasons here, and yeah, everything's going pretty well.
You can pick up the Beaver County Times at all of your neighboring hot dog shops here in our region, meaning the Brighton Hot Dog Shop. But better yet, timesonline.com. Get a subscription and let them bring it to your house in the morning, folks. It is truly the best way to wake up in Beaver County, Monday through Friday, and of course, Sundays as well. Have a great night from the Beaver Brighton Hot Dog Shop. Good night.